I guess we do turn down is if we don't stock or sell the game. It's very hard to, provide space for something that we're not selling, right? But for anything, so if let's say, for example, Friday night is Magic the Gathering, we do Friday night Magic. If somebody wanted to come in on a Sunday and their friend came with them and said, can we use one of the tables for Magic? 100%.
Why not, right?
Even though it's quote unquote scheduled for Warhammer and miniature games, they're more than welcome to use the space as well.
That's great. Yeah.
And that gives them better value for what they're buying. You can buy Magic cards, you can buy Warhammer, and it can go in your room at home. But if you actually get an opportunity to play with it, use it, then that's the added value to that product.
Yeah, and you know what? Tons and tons of people now live in condos. More than ever, I think. Most of my friends live in condos as well, and there's no room to host these kinds of things in your own home.
Yep.
Some people are simply living in a one floor, one bedroom, bare minimum.
Yeah, maybe an office in that.
Maybe a laundry room.
Yeah.
But that's it, and it's not always a comfortable thing because there's no proper seating. So just for the listeners in the show, we are going to be kind of touring around the store and showing you how it actually looks like. They've got a good space here. They've got tables, they've got chairs that is enough for interaction galore. Like it's, you're not going to run out of space here.
Yes, no.
I don't think so.
Barring unless we, 150 people showed up and wanted to all do something at the same time.
Sure.
But that hasn't happened yet.
I mean, that's I guess like you got to organize that,
yes.
In advance anyway. And what about your customers? Since you guys have, I don't really, there's some places like that in the West End, but you guys are a lot closer to places like Pickering and Ajax and all the other boony-like areas, Do you guys have faraway customers as well?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool because you'll notice, what we've noticed is being Markham, and we're just north of Steele, so we are pretty close to Scarborough and Toronto. But we do pull people from all over just because of our product mix.
Yeah.
And if people have known us for a long time, like we've seen, our customers that might have lived in Markham, worked in Markham, once they move away or get their families and stuff like that, they still come back here.
Yeah.
And, so we pull people from Pickering, from Oshawa, from Ajax, and some places we pull people from Newmarket, we pull people from Stouffville, and stuff like that. So
I can't
it's
imagine
pretty cool.
there to be like a big, comic book store in like as far as Stouffville. I mean, to us right now, because we're in Markham, that's like a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
Or 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but so Stouffville, for the people who are listening that don't know Stouffville, I've gone there, and it's not as heavily populated as, let's say, Markham or Scarborough. So some people still need a place to go. And I think with Heroes World, you guys are kind of conquering like the East End, because you guys are the only store I still know, right?
I'm trying to think, there's a couple other sporadic stores, but maybe not quite that does what we do, I guess.
Yeah. Because
and I think it is the access, like you said, the highway is pretty close.
Yeah.
Where like Highway 7, you can get off on Highway 7, you can get off on 16th, you can even get off a little further down the road like Steele's, and then kind of scoot across.
Yeah.
And it's kind of as soon as we tell people our intersection,
they're like,
which is
yes.
Warden and Highway 7. Usually they have been to this area at some point or another.
And if you're coming from south, you can get on the bus. And it stops right there at Warden and 7. So the TTC is right there. The YRT is right there. So, like I said, we've got a pretty good location for it being central. But, as you get further north from us, I can't really think of many game stores, especially going out, the Stouffville, Newmarket, and Aurora. They might have... one comic book store or one. I know there's a couple in Barrie, but again, Barrie's further out, and it's we're not going to draw necessarily a lot of people from Barrie. Like a store out there can sustain itself and stuff. But it's pretty cool. Like sometimes again, if most people, if you are in the GTA and you are in York region and surrounding regions. At some point, you're going into Toronto, and if you're going into Toronto, you might be passing on the 400. You might be passing on the the 401, or you might be coming up
407
407. And again, you know, our shop is kind of central. So if they know us or they've heard of us or they've Googled us, you know, we are very easily accessible, and most people, you know, I'd like to think if they've stopped by, and they'll stop by again.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, certainly I came back because I knew that you guys had a good collection here too. So I've always liked shopping here. I've always liked looking at the new stuff here, and I've found some gems here that I haven't been able to find even in Comic-Cons.
Wow.
So, and as I said, I think when John and I were chatting, he's like, hey, do you want any coffee? I'm like, no, but if you have Black Canary 1, 10, 11, and 12, I'm certainly looking for it. So it's no coffee, but I've been able to find a little bit here. And I wanted to, lastly, learn a little bit about the culture here in terms of your pull list and your staffers and, you know, the people who, quote unquote, do the jobs here. What are they like? Like, what's your staff like here?
I would say we're very lucky with the staff that we've had over the years, because we're fortunate to have been able to kind of pull from people who have shopped here, and were customers at one point, and so we know that they're as passionate about what they like as we are, and that's one of the things that we made sure that we have to have in an employee. So we've got Justin, who we've mentioned before, and he is just a comic god. This guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's the Kwai Chang Caine of comics.
Yeah,
that's a really old reference, but.
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask, I don't know if you guys watch Comic Book Man, but is he like the Walt Flanagan of the store? Because he seems to know,
he
like,
knows
a
everything,
Bible amount.
and he just loves it. So, you know, if there's something comic reference that you're looking about, chances are he's read it, knows of it, point you in the direction of it. Next up, we have another really good comic guy. His name's Neil, and he was a regular of ours. And he's also a big movie buff too. So again, we get that really good combination of he knows his comics, likes his new stuff, but also, you know, a movie aficionado. And again, both of these guys cut their teeth on the service industry. They have other jobs in which they are serving customers and stuff like that, and they bring that here. But I think we get the better end of it because, again, they love this stuff. This is their hobbies. So again, that shines through. And then we got a couple gamers on staff. We got Kevin, who is our resident card expert. So
card game gunslinger.
Yep, card game gunslinger.
Teach you any game.
He's got like the Yu-Gi-Oh sleeve.
Yeah, he's got the heart of the cards, right? So again, he knows all the card games. If there's a new card game coming out that we are going to carry, he's the man to read the rules, look it up, see if this game is something that's worth it, and then he'll show it to our other community of players. So our card players might be like, hey, yeah, they're playing Final Fantasy, but hey, maybe they're gonna like Cardfight Vanguard, or you've played Pokemon. Why don't you step up and try Magic the Gathering? You're now 14. You know, let's get up there. And then last but not least is our miniature and board game expert, who's Clarence, and we're really lucky to have him. And he's just an amazing painter for painting the miniature games, and also you know, teaching people how to play those. So again, we've grabbed people who are very passionate, and they supplement our knowledge in the store. And if people are coming, they can talk your ear off about anything that's there, but also too, they learn from each other, right? So if it's any given night, we try and have two different strengths on staff, and they've all been here long enough to give you the general gist of what you're after. But if you really want that specialized go-to, then you get to one of our experts, and like I said, they'll talk your ear off.
That's great. Well, thank you. We are going to go into a part 2 later. We do have some customers in the store, so we're going to take a little break. But thanks for talking to us, guys.
No problem.
So signing off, it's Joey from Comics Inc. We'll see you later.